All right, so today we're going to be doing a 30-minute core flow. It is beginner friendly, but you will be probably sweating a little bit. I'm already sweating, so I know I'm going to be sweating. If you have a block, go ahead and grab that, but you could also use something like a couple pillows. We're just going to use it under our hips at the end in our bridge pose. All right, so let's actually start up at the front of the mat into mountain pose. You can bring your big toes together to touch or separate your feet up to about 2 inches. Lift your toes, spread them apart, and then grip them down into the mat. Push into all 4 corners of the feet and really ground down. Make sure that you're not locking the knees. So have a slight bend in the knees, okay? And then bring your pelvis into neutral. So make sure your booty's not popping out. It's not tucking under. We just want it neutral. Lift the ribs, relax the shoulders, arms by the sides, chin parallel to the ground. Take a couple cleansing breaths here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Find a gazing point, somewhere to look at to help you balance or help you focus. So today we'll be focusing on the core, which can correlate with the solar plexus chakra. So for your affirmation, think of something that resonates with you that has to do with that chakra. So it could be having to do with your creativity or manifesting. So it could be like, I create my own reality, or I am creative, anything like that that really resonates with you today. So on your inhale, say the first part of that affirmation in your mind. On your exhale, say the second half. And you'll use this affirmation throughout your practice today. Good. Now, as you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, grab your left wrist with your right hand, and then exhale, lean over to your right. So getting a nice side stretch all the way down the side. Inhale up, switch wrists. Exhale over to the other side, keeping the belly twisted open. Inhale up, reach both arms up, and then exhale, start to fold. Feel free to bend the knees so you can tip your pelvis forward, let your arms and head hang. Hands can come to the shin. Inhale, come up halfway up for a flat back. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Exhale, step back to plank, top of a push-up. So we're gonna hold here since we're working on the core. So what I want you to focus on is not letting the belly come down. So I want you to lift the pelvis a little bit higher probably than you think you should, so that you're in a straight line, so that pretty much your torso from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head is parallel to the ground. So tuck your tailbone slightly, feel your low abs engage. Okay, now from here, push forward with the toes so the shoulders come past the wrist. Now feel free to lower the knees. Let's stay here for a couple breaths. Keep your tailbone tucked slightly, keeping the pelvis neutral. Breathe. Good. And then slowly lower down. Keep the elbows in at the sides. Uncurl the toes, push into the knuckles. Inhale, lift the chest forward and up for a little cobra, shoulders away from the ears, elbows bent, stretching the abs. Exhale, lower down slow. Curl the toes under. Now try to push up in a straight line as you inhale up to your plank or modified plank. And then exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So hold here and breathe, and I want you to focus on rolling the upper arms away from each other. So trying to like close the armpits and roll the forearms in, keeping the knuckles heavy. So you're rolling your shoulders away from each other, broadening the upper back, and then rolling the forearms in. Push into the knuckles and send the hips up and back. Good. Now you can either walk the feet in a couple inches, bring your big toes to touch, and then you can either hop forward or step forward to the front of the mat, whichever you prefer. Coming back into your mountain pose feet, hands can come to the shins. Inhale, halfway up, monkey pose, chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, fold over the legs. Push into the feet, look out in front of you. Inhale, come up, circle the arms out to the sides and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, draw your hands slowly down to the heart. Come back to your breath. Come back to your affirmation. Find your gazing point. Stay focused. Letting go of everything that's already been on your mind today. You can always come back to that stuff later. But for now, just being present on the mat. Let's do one more sun salutation A, just like that, focusing on the planks. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Let the arms and head hang. You can bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway up, monkey pose. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Exhale, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Hold here. So again, tuck your tailbone, bringing it into neutral. Now, as you do this, draw your lower belly slightly in, so engaging your abs. Draw the chest forward and the shoulders back, if you can think about anything else. Make sure not to let your chest cave down. So really push into your hands, almost as if you're trying to round the upper back. Okay, now push forward with the toes. Knees can come down. Hold here. Breathe. Navel in towards the spine. Maybe smile a little bit. It's fun, right? Good. Take an inhale. And then exhale, lower down, elbows in. Uncurl the toes. Let's stretch the abs. Inhale, chest forward and up, cobra. Exhale, come down. Curl the toes under. Inhale, push up to your plank. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. I don't know about you, but my abs are already a little bit confused. Like, why are we holding those planks? Roll the shoulders away from each other and roll the forearms in. Keep those knuckles rooting down into the mat. Send the hips up and back. Breathe. Feel free at any time to take a break, get a drink, take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, you guys, it's about to get real. Come down to your hands and knees. Swing your feet around and come to seated. All right, so now we're gonna go into boat pose. Yay, so fun. All right, so from here, what I want you to do is just have your knees bent, feet on the ground, and you can hold onto your thighs and just start to lean back. Now, if you have some issues with your tailbone, you might wanna grab like a blanket or something and put that under your pelvis. Okay, otherwise just lean back. You can be on your toes. Now, this is a fine place to stay. Maybe you wanna stay here and reach like this. Totally fine. If you feel like if you're kind of shaking here, awesome, stay there. But if not, then I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go a little bit further. You're gonna have to bring your legs up so that your shins are parallel to the ground. Don't round the back. I want you to pretend that there's a string attached to your chest and somebody's pulling it forward, right? So opening your heart. Breathe, smile. Let's just hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just come into your easy seated pose. Breathe. We're all in this together, okay? Let's do it again. Okay, so lean back. You can, again, be on your toes. Reach your fingers forward. Reach your heart forward. So plug the shoulders in. Stay there. Or shins parallel to the ground with active feet, meaning you're pushing into the heels and the balls of the feet. Open the chest. Breathe. Smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now put your non-dominant leg in front for easy seated pose. Take a cleansing breath. All right, just one more of those. Come back to your boat, Navasana. Plug the shoulders in. Now, if you have any other fancy variations of this to do with your legs, go for it, okay? But I'm calling this beginner friendly, so I don't want to get too crazy with it. That's already hard enough. Remember to take breaks as needed. It's totally fine. You want to push yourself, but there's a fine line. Okay, now come back to your Sukhasana. You never want to push to where you're feeling pain, strain, or pulling. Okay, so that was boat. Now we're going to lay it on back and we're going to do half boat. This is even more fun, I promise. Okay, so now you're just going to extend your legs out. Okay, bring your arms by your sides. Now take a breath in. And then as you exhale, curl up, so navel to spine, curl your shoulders up off the mat. And then maybe you can also lift the legs, maybe not. You can keep the legs down. Let's hold it for 5, breathe, smile, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, release. Whew. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Bring your arms by your sides, inhale. Exhale, curl up, so navel to spine. Now you can stay there with just your shoulders lifted or lift the legs. Smile, breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. One more. I know you got it in you. Ready? Inhale. Exhale, curl it up. Legs up. Smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. All right, now reach your arms overhead and kind of arch your back a little bit for a full body stretch. Stretch the abs. Reach the feet forward. Good. Now bend your knees and bring your knees in towards your chest. Cross the legs at the ankle and then rock and roll. See if you can rock and roll 3 times. And then somehow come to your down dog. So you can either just come to seated, swing your feet around, or you can come all the way onto the feet, come to the hands and knees, set up the hands for your down dog, and then lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So breathe here. Good. All right, now come forward to your plank. Shoulders a little bit past the wrists. Hold here, navel to spine. Tuck the tailbone a little bit. Bring your knees down and then lower all the way down to the mat. All right, so now I want you to come onto your forearms. Okay, so this is called Sphinx pose. You want the elbows here directly under the shoulders. Forearms are parallel to the long sides of the mat. Spread your fingers apart, knuckles pushing down. Now, instead of letting the chest collapse down, try to really push into the elbows. Lift the chest, draw the chest forward, shoulders back. Tuck your chin slightly. So it's like Sphinx, like those sphinxes in Egypt. So they're very grand. Okay, now keep your elbows where they are, interlace your fingers, curl your toes under. I'm going to give you 2 options. First option, let's all do that together. Just go to the knees. I make it sound like it's easy. So lift up to the knees. So now you're in a modified plank. We're in a modified plank because we're on the forearms, but also modified because we're on the knees. You can either stay there, tucking the tailbone slightly with a neutral pelvis, or lift the knees. Smile, breathe. Let's hold it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's waking up the shoulders. And bring your arms by your sides. Gonna rest on one cheek. Take some cleansing breaths. Okay, let's do it again. Come back to your Sphinx. Now interlace your fingers in your non-dominant way. So the way that feels a little bit weird. Curl your toes under, inhale. And then exhale, lift. Either to the knees or straight up to your plank. Smile. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, rest on your other cheek, arms by your sides. Okay, now come up onto your forearms again, and then turn onto your left side. Okay, so from here, now you want you're still on your left elbow, and you want your left forearm parallel to the top of the mat. I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit challenging, okay? So just do what you can. If you feel like you're gonna get hurt, just wait, just skip it and breathe. Okay, so bend your knees a little bit. What we're gonna do is inhale, and then exhale, straighten the legs and lift up so that only the knife edge, the side of your left foot is on the ground and your left forearm is on the ground. If that's not possible or happening, please don't feel bad. It's really, really hard. So you can just come down, take a break, chill out, or you can do forearm plank again. Couple more breaths. Woo! And release. Now stay there on your side. I'm going to have you come off of the elbow. So just place your left hand down. It's out at an angle. And then you're going to let your left rib cage kind of melt down towards the ground as you let the left shoulder come up towards the ear. This is like the only pose where I tell you to bring the shoulder up towards the ear, but it's to stretch your left side. Carefully breathe here. Sometimes just taking a deep breath can be too much on the left side, on the muscles on the rib cage. Okay, so now let's go to the other side. Come onto your right forearm. Bend your right knees. You're going to flex the feet, okay? Use your left hand to help you push up. Inhale. Exhale, push. Lift the hips. You can keep the left hand down or bring it to the hips. Breathe. Breathe. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carefully release. Now come up onto the right hand. The arm is out at an angle. And then slowly let the right side melt down towards the ground as the shoulder comes up towards the ear. Take careful breaths, feeling the stretch in the right side. Good. All right, now you can make your way back to your belly. I'm done torturing you guys. Well, almost. Let's do locust. So this one is also good for the core, for the belly and the back. Okay, so you can start with your forehead on the ground. Let's inhale and exhale first. And then inhale, lift the chest and lift the legs. You can reach the fingers towards the back of the mat. Turn your toes out slightly, broadening the sacrum. And you might even pulse a little with the breath. Let's hold it. 5, 4, breathe. 3, 2, 1. Release. You can either just turn your head to the side or you can stack your hands and place your forehead onto the top hand. Breathe here and come back to your affirmation. Okay, let's just do that one more time. Reach your arms back. On your inhale, lift. Lift the chest, lift the legs, turn the heels out slightly. One more breath. And release. Couple cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Come back to your affirmation. Okay, bring your hands beside your chest. We're going to do 3 cobras. So your hands are beside your chest. Your elbows are pointing up and in. So you can start to lift your chest, pushing into your knuckles. Draw your chest forward, shoulders back. And then slowly come down. Inhale up. Think about stretching the abs. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now come back onto the forearms. Turn your left forearm in so it's more parallel to the front of the mat and bend your right leg. See if you can grab either the toes or the ankle. If you can grab the ankle, flex the foot. So I really want to focus on feeling a stretch in maybe the quad, but going up into the hip flexor, maybe the psoas, because we really feel that in a lot of the ab work. So I just want to take a second to stretch that out. If you don't feel a stretch, walk your left forearm forward a little bit. Bring your forehead to the forearm. Tuck your tailbone a little bit and reach your right knee back. Then you should feel more of a stretch. Just really starting to slow down the breath here. So inhale to maybe 4 or 5. And then exhale to 5, 6, or 7. Let your exhales be longer than your inhales. And then switch it out. Come back to that breath again. Relax the forehead, relax the eyes and the jaw. Good. And then very slowly push yourself up to hands and knees. Swing your feet around. And come to your easy seated pose. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones just so you feel more rooted. Please feel free to grab a couch cushion or a couple pillows, whatever you need to sit yourself up tall. And let's have the palms open on the knees, chin parallel to the ground. Close your eyes. Slow down the breath, slow down your heart rate. Good, and then lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open. Lift your head. Now, if you have a block, we're gonna grab that because we're gonna lower back and hold bridge. If you don't, then you can even just roll up your yoga mat and put that under your pelvis, okay? So just really anything that you can find that would feel comfortable. So lay back, have your arms by your sides, have your ankles under your knees. Feet and knees are hip width. Okay, so push into your feet, lift your hips up, and then place the block or whatever you have under your pelvis. Okay, here you want to make sure that the block is not in your low back, making your booty stick out. You really want to kind of tuck your tailbone so your pelvis feels more neutral, so that the tailbone's pointing in the same direction as the knees. Arms are by the sides, can roll the shoulders under the back. Make sure not to turn your head from side to side. Keep the knees parallel and breathe here. Feel free to close the eyes if that feels good for you. Good. Take a breath. Push into your feet, lift your hips, move the block or whatever is under the knees, lower down and bring your knees in towards your chest. And just rock a little bit from side to side. Place your feet back onto the floor. Bring your feet as wide as your mat or even a little bit wider than your mat. Okay, knees are still pointing up. Now let's let both knees fall to the left. Arms can be by the sides, palms facing up. Then go to the other way. Then come back to center, extend your legs out in front of you, arms overhead, full body stretch. Good, and then bring your arms by your sides, hands a little bit wider than the mat, roll the shoulders under the back, soften the chest, feet about as wide as the mat, let the feet fall out to the sides. Close your eyes. Just breathe here. Letting yourself relax more and more. Now you can feel free to stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, start deepening your breath. And bring some movement into your fingers and toes. And roll your head gently from side to side. If it feels good to do another full body stretch, you can do that. Otherwise, just start to bend your knees, place your feet onto the floor, and slowly roll onto your right hand side using your right arm for a pillow. Take a couple breaths here. And then slowly push yourself up to seated. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Come into your easy seated pose and put your non-dominant leg in front. Again, pull the flesh away from the sitting bone. Sit up tall. Palms open on the knees. Chin parallel to the ground. Come back to your breath. Notice how you're feeling. Compare how you're feeling now to how you were feeling when you first sat down on your mat with me today. And circle your hands together in front of your heart into prayer. And just take a moment to thank yourself for coming to your mat today. Maybe for trying something new or pushing yourself a little bit, if that's what was needed. And then you can bow your head to where it feels good. Bring your thumbs from your heart center up to your forehead, acknowledging the energy that's within you, around you, connects us all together and never goes away. That energy within me acknowledges the energy within you, and I thank you so very much for letting me guide you through your practice today. Namaste. So thank you guys so very much. If you're interested in yoga teacher trainings or retreats, please head over to the website. It's yogagoddessacademy.com.